What's good, e-biker? So I was in Austin recently, Austin, Texas, and did a tour with yourbikergang.com of the city. It was just kind of like a 7 mile uh, tour, so it was pretty quick. I wish it was a little bit longer, but Captain Kidd, our leader here, took us around the city, showed us the sights, and I recorded the ride. So I hope you enjoy the video today, and check them out at yourbikergang.com in Austin, Texas.
So we're just going to go over that kickstand here first. I kind of just put my foot on the side of that kickstand. It just stops it from sliding. But really, all we're going to do is push those handlebars forward. Should pop right off. Sweet. And then to put it back down on the kickstand is pretty much the opposite. We just stomp that down to the ground. This time pull up and back on those handlebars. Oh yeah, so yeah, have it on the ground there. Sweet. Everyone's got the hang of it now. So let's pop them off and hop on. All right, so we're just gonna go over some of those basic operations here. Up on the handlebars, we got our brakes. Right brake here is the back brake. Left brake here is the front. You might have heard growing up, don't use that front brake. You're gonna go flying over the handlebars. That's not really true on these bikes. Big battery and motor back here. If you're needing to make a sudden stop, it's recommended you use both those hand brakes. That's gonna stop you the fastest. Just kind of keep in mind, a little bit stronger brakes maybe than your average bike. So if you slam on them, you could slide or skid a little bit, kind of like you slam on the brakes in a car. So try to save for those emergencies. Outside of that, it's pretty much like riding a normal bike. It should feel pretty natural there. Mainly going to use that right brake, maybe add in that left one if you need a little extra stopping power. And now we went over the brakes. Over on the right hand side, we have our throttle here. Just this little black part on the inside of the handlebar. Let's find that real quick, give it a pull. Everyone find the throttle? Yeah. All right, we just like to go over that first, because once we power the bikes on, it's going to be a live throttle. So we just want to be careful, not accidentally leaning on the throttle. If we're getting on or off the bike, we don't forget about it. Even if we're just kind of walking the bike next to us, we want to keep that in mind. Could send the bike, flying one way, you flying the other way. I want to try to avoid that thing if we can. We call that a whiskey throttle. So maybe that'll help you remember a little bit better too. But now going over it, you'll see that control panel there on the left. Just hit that power button. So you're going to see some lights there across the top. That's your battery life. Then right below that, you'll see a series of numbers 0 through 4. That's basically your power, your speed for the day. Higher number you have there, the faster you're going to reach that top speed. I'll have everyone hit that plus and go to number 2. 2 is pretty much a good place to start. You really don't want to be below 2 today. You're not going to have enough power to kind of stick with the group. But if you want to go up to 3 or 4 as you get more comfortable, totally fine. But 2 will probably get you through just about anything we need to today. And now that we kind of went over that little control system there, we're going to go back over to the throttle and kind of how to power the bikes. There's 2 ways to do that. Throttle there, as far as you pull that back, the faster you're going to go. And then we have the pedals down here. As you pedal, that motor kicks in, helps you along. To me, the only real difference is the pedals is a lot kind of like a jerkier ride. It's not as smooth. Kind of as soon as you start pedaling, you get all that acceleration at once. So it's a little trickier stopping and starting. The throttle, you kind of fine tune it with your hand. You did sign up for an e-bike tour though. If you don't want to pedal at all, you don't have to. You can just use that throttle there. If you did want to get some pedaling in, maybe some exercise, I recommend getting started with that throttle, then maintain the speed with the pedals. It'll just be a lot smoother that way. But during our training, you can give them both a shot, see which one you like more. And then just before we start that training, I want everyone to give a little pull on that throttle, just so you can kind of feel the bike move underneath you. All right. Now everyone hold in that left handbrake, and at the same time pull on that throttle. You'll notice that the bike doesn't move. That's a little safety feature. At any point you're feeling a bit awkward, off balance, just grab one of those brakes, get your feet down. You're not going to go anywhere. So with that, we're just about ready to start our training. We're going to go down the alleyway here, down a little bit of a hill, turn around the park on the right, come back up the hill and meet here. We're going to go single file just for this little stretch as you guys get used to the bikes. So someone will lead off behind me.
I'll do.
Okay, so he'll lead off behind me. You guys will file in. Just try to avoid the gravel here if you can. Bikes aren't super great in the gravel. If you take it slow around the corner, that's totally fine. So we just check for cars and we'll get started. All right, let's roll. We don't have any suspension on these.
Yeah. It's all right. Your roads are flat here, right? So.
For the most part, gotta dodge the potholes.
How many times a day you do this?
What do you say?
How many times a day you do this?
The most is 3.
3 times?
Yeah. So I pretty much know every pothole at this point.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna turn around here at the bottom of this hill in this parking lot and head back up the hill.
I like the walkie-talkie action. That's good. There's that group.
Car coming down the hill, so just watch out for that. We'll wait for you guys right up here at the top, though.
Yeah, it's good you have the walkie-talkies.
Yeah, it definitely helps out.
The Nashville one didn't have that.
Alright, I think they caught up here.
Yeah, no suspension on this. Hardtail.
It is cold.
Hard
A little
fork.
bit, yeah, it's cold. I layered up a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I got 4 layers on, man.
Yeah,
So,
I went 3 today.
All right, so we're just gonna group up back here in the front.
Alright, so how'd everybody feel during the training? Feel good? Great. Alright, I just want to make sure everybody looked good to me. Before we head out, we're just going to go over a few road safety things. We're going to be on a wide variety of different kind of bike paths, sidewalks, roads. Mainly you guys can focus when we're out on the road. Kind of think about our group like a school of fish. We're a little bit safer in numbers than we are all spread out. So you think about where those car tires would be. We can kind of ride in 2 groups of riders where those car tires would fall. So like 2 and 2 behind me. We just really want to fill up that whole lane, prevents cars from trying to pass us within our own lane, get between us, separate the group. And 2 is usually a good number. 3 across 1 lane does get a little bit tight. So just try to stay in that formation as best we can today. You're free to ride whatever order you want. You don't have to stay in the order for the training or anything like that. But like I said, we just want to focus on filling up that whole lane. The next part here, if any of you guys are professional cyclists or ride motorcycles or anything like that, you might know they use some kind of fancy hand signs and stuff for the turn signals. But a lot of the drivers here actually don't know those signals either, so we just keep it nice and simple. We got the right turn here, we got the left turn here. You guys keep your hands on the handlebars though. If you think maybe someone missed the sign, you could just use your voice, call that out to them, let them know what they might have missed. Also, you guys
Did hear there are walkies on all the bikes?
those are mainly kind of a one-way street for me to talk to you guys, let you know about some stuff as we go by. Maybe call like a pothole or something like that. If there is some kind of emergency, something happens behind me, I don't see it, need to get my attention. Those walkies are in that little water pouch there. And we're on channel 11 if for whatever reason you get off the correct channel. And hopefully you guys want to pull those out just in case, let you know where they're at. And then I'm going to get some music going for us. Go over a few smaller details as well. If we come to something like a stop sign or a red light, we don't all have to stop there individually. I'm going to stop there first. We're going to group up together in our little formation. Then we'll move through that obstacle kind of like we're one vehicle. And then the last part, try not to ride out in front of me.
Alright, just a little heads up here. We are going to be taking a bike path coming up. We are going to go single file for the bike path today. They're just a little bit thinner. And also on our right, we'll see our local Amtrak stop. That line actually starts off in Chicago. It's called the Texas Eagle. You can take it about 20 or 30 hours down here to Austin. And if you're real crazy, it's another 30 or 40 hours out west to LA. Definitely looking at some long rides there. My only piece of advice, if you're planning something like that, just make sure the train has a scenic car. That scenic car is going to have some Wi-Fi, nice viewing window, but most importantly, a full-service bar on there. Can definitely help you pass that 20 or 30 hours just a little bit quicker. And then this bike path here that we're on, this is called the Lance Armstrong Bikeway. He is a famous cyclist, won the Tour de France 6 times. He's originally from Dallas, but he's lived in Austin for a bit now. He's done a lot of charity philanthropy work here as well. So we do give him a little bit of a pass on some of his controversy. But with that being said, there's still a pretty big rumor about this bike path. They say there's about 80% more oxygen on this bike path compared to other bike paths. So you guys might notice a little performance uptick. You have to let me know there. Austin power plant. This power plant was originally built in the 1940s, but pretty much by the 80s and 90s it was out of commission. You'll see it's all concrete, so it would have been a lot of work, a lot of money to try to tear this down. So instead they decided to reuse the space. It is mainly kind of office space in there, but there were some pretty cool events hosted there as well. Big Boy from Outkast, he had an album release and birthday party there. And on top of that, a pretty famous movie scene shot there. We'll cover a bit later on today.
It's like EV Row here.
And then coming up on our right here, you'll see a bike shop called Mellow Johnny's. That's Lance's bike shop, Lance Armstrong. If you did want to check out any high-end biking equipment, that's probably one of the best spots in town to do it. And we are entering now what is called the Pfluger Pedestrian Bridge. It's named after a guy named James Pfluger. He's responsible for designing all the trail systems around town. See that in the thank you for checking out any of those while you're here. And then once we get up to the top here, we are going to set up for one of our first photo ops of the day. So we're going to pull over on this left-hand side, kind of try to set up with our back to the wall here, so we get the skyline behind us. We do have a long train of bikers here, so we'll have to see if we get our chance to cross over.
Other than that, you know how in different places in Mexico people
rival bike gangs.
Is this the regular bike tour?
Oh,
this is an e-bike.
Is it just like a group ride?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those around.
Kind of like that. We've been together so long.
Alright, looks like we might have got our chance here to cross on over.
I thought it was 11:40. I'm pretty sure we didn't leave right.
Like I said, just try to group up here kind of in front of this railing. It'll set us up for our best photo op.
Alright, you guys hang back here. I'm going to pull ahead to grab that photo. Alright, so I'm going to take a few photos of everyone today for the tour, send those out to you at the end. But if anywhere along the way you guys want some photos on your own phone, just let me know. I'll be happy to take those for y'all as well. For this first one here, you are in a biker gang now. You know, if you want to do any kind of flexes, any kind of poses, well within your right. Fixed smile always works too. Make sure I don't get hit here. Alright, everybody ready? 3, 2, 1. So we're going to do one more here this way. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. And then just a little bit about where we're at right now. So we're sitting over what is called the Colorado River. If you're into geography, maybe you're thinking, isn't this the same Colorado River that formed our Grand Canyon? It's actually not. We're on the completely opposite side of the Continental Divide. So we're not really sure how those naming conventions got all screwed up. But as you just say, Texas, we're such a big state, we got to steal names from other places. We run out of our own names here too fast. So you might also hear this body of water, though, referred to as like Lady Bird Lake, also Town Lake. It's kind of they dammed up this river a series of times, creating multiple lakes. There's kind of a funny reason, though, why we have two names for it. So Lady Bird Lake comes from Lady Bird Johnson, famous First Lady. However, when she was alive, she never wanted to be associated with this lake. It's basically a polluted body of water. So what the city did was they just waited until after she died and named it after her anyway. So some of the locals will still call it Town Lake, kind of sort of honor her.
We're only doing like
We're gonna make this
5 or
right
10
turn
miles
here
today,
up this
so
little ramp on the right side. It is kind of like a 180-degree turn, so maybe take your speed down a bit, just make it a little bit easier. And we're going to hang out up here for a bit. So just kind of find a spot over by me. We'll hang out here.
All right. So right now, we're sitting in front of the Long Center for Performing Arts. So you have like a lot of musicals, plays, theater here, things like that. And then they just recently added this amphitheater out front. So we're seeing a lot more live music and concerts here. This amphitheater is actually pretty unique. It's the first 3D printed amphitheater of its kind. Our first 3D printed structure here in the downtown. It was actually created by a local company called Icon. They actually just finished a community of about 100 homes in Georgetown, about an hour from here. So I do think it's pretty cool. You know, it could be the future. They finished these homes about 1 to 2 days, no labor costs. So you know, it could kind of be the future. If you're interested, there is a concept home on the east side of town called Home Zero. Like I said, it's kind of some nerdy stuff there, but if you are interested, they do have that available. But we are here mainly talking about
And we're going to see these 2 trees here on our right with no leaves. Those are actually our state trees in Texas. Those are our pecan trees. And then this big hill right here on the right, this is called Duxon Hill. He was a famous musician, founding member of a group called the Texas Tornadoes. They were a Grammy Award-winning group. Pretty well known for just creating that Tex-Mex style. You know, combining a lot of those influences from rock, country, soul, blues, from both genres, kind of mixing them up. And then right here on the right, we also have the Alliance Children's Garden here. This is a really cool park. It was built by the city, but it was actually designed by UT students. They were given a prompt to design their dream childhood park. This is what they came up with. I think they did a really great job, though. But yeah, like a lot of cool little activities here I've never seen before. It brings a ton of new life here to the city as well, or the park as well. My favorite element also are these giant ant sculptures here at the end. The metalwork ants. I think they're pretty cool. And then we're going to make this right turn here onto this smaller path. And the next spot we're going to see here, you might already going to start smelling it a bit, but that's Terry Black's Barbecue. That is one of the most popular, kind of well-known spots in town. It is probably the spot that I do recommend the most. cooking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So usually find what you're looking for there. But with that being said, we do have a lot of great barbecue in town. It does get a little bit subjective at one point or another. So there's plenty of stuff you can't really go wrong with. But like I said, I do recommend Terry Box, probably the most. And we're going to cross here at this intersection. So we're just going to wait here at this cross. Let's try not to block the whole bike path if we can. But Austin is just super fast growing. We're getting about 1,000 new people moving to the city every week. So certain neighborhoods are starting to gain in popularity. This one is pretty easy to see why. You know, we're on these nice residential roads. We have really good school districts here as well. And on top of that, we're about 10 minutes from the downtown. Just kind of hit that perfect trifecta there. Pretty easy to see why it's getting so popular. We do have pretty steep hill coming up here. Just remember to use those brakes, and we're going to stick to the right-hand side. There's a little bit of a blind turn here. Stick to that right-hand side.
Mechanical brakes in here. Front one's kind of mushy.
At the bottom here on the left, we're going to see a pretty unique house in this neighborhood. I know it seems kind of hard to miss, but I have had a few people miss that house before, so I wanted to point it out to y'all. Oncoming lane, and I'm going to stop a little further back, but I'm going to have you guys keep pulling forward here in front of the mural. We'll do another photo op here.
There?
Oh, sorry, you missed a little ramp here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you guys pull in front here. We'll do another photo op.
Everybody ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna do one more here. All right, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Anybody want an individual here? All right, let's do it. I'll have you guys just step out of frame for this one, please. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm just gonna do one more here. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, of course.
Take one of them. It's like an angle over here.
For you. 3, 2, 1.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no worries. So this is called Roadhouse Relics. This is a gallery space owned by an artist named Todd Sanders. He's also the one responsible for this mural here. He's mainly known, I actually just knocked the sit on it while the kickstand's down, thank you.
Oh.
He's mainly known for kind of like his neon artwork, like neon lighting and signage. He's done some pretty high-end work too for clients like ZZ Top, Robert Redford. If you've ever seen Joe Rogan's podcast, he's a neon sign behind him. Mr. Sanders created that for him as well. So very real respect in the neon field. Kind of forgotten medium too, so it's pretty cool.
What's his name again?
Todd Sanders. If you did end up, booking an appointment to see the gallery, I'm not 100% on that. sure. But he also does a lot of restoration work, like old cars. He has like an Airstream RV back there that's like completely decked out. Really cool guy though, worth a Google if you haven't heard of him. And then as far as the mural here is concerned, it's based off a postcard series for different cities around the United States. He kind of wanted to put his own twist on it for Austin by using his own landmarks, kind of using letters. So I was going to go over the landmarks for y'all. So the A there is the Congress Ave Bridge. That is the famous bat bridge. If you don't know, we have the largest urban bat population in North America. I think it could be the world. I just haven't been able to confirm that or not. But I know North America. But we have about 1.5 to 2 million bats here at the peak time. And they mainly live underneath that bridge. They're called Mexican free-tailed bats. They come every year, mainly the females. And then they give birth underneath the bridge, and that's when it swells up out of that big amount.
We're going by there?
What'd you say?
Are we going by there?
Yeah, we're gonna go over that bridge here in probably about maybe 15 or 20 minutes. I think the bats are just starting to make their migration back to the city. So what a lot of people do is they head there around sunset, because when they do those nocturnal instincts, they'll all begin to take flight at once. So you get to see, a few 100,000 bats flying around, feeding on all the mosquitoes there over the lake. Well, I've never heard that specific, I've never heard Bat City, but I do know we are really well known for the bats, so it does make sense. I just never heard it, I've never heard of Bat City, but we do have a good amount of bats here. I was also going to say, you can Google and look up how many bats are here if you were curious to see if it was going to be worth it. The U there, that's the diving board over at Barton Springs Pool. That's that natural spring pool I was telling you about earlier over at Zilker. The S and the T there, those are both at UT campus. The T is the original main building from campus, and it was the first structure that they built. And then the S is the new main building, also kind of known as the tower. And that is honestly a little bit more infamous. If you guys don't know or you're curious about it, you can research that one on your own. It is a pretty big downer. And then the I and the N there, the I is kind of what Congress Ave used to look like. Now it's all skyscrapers, tall buildings. That's just like an older edition.
We got some road cyclists kind of in our group. If they do want to pass us, just give them some room so they have some room to pass us if they want to.
I'm staying right up here.
Oh, really?
Right behind Torchy's.
Oh, perfect. This is like a really cool area.
Yeah, I know. I walked down there before. I was coming down to your place.
I'll point out
It's hopping too, tons of people out here.
Oh yeah, this is still kind of part of the South by Southwest events happening still here on South Congress. I saw one for the video game Fallout. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah.
It's like a post-apocalyptic kind of game. They made like a whole event for it.
Oh yeah.
It looked pretty interesting.
There was a big crowd down here waiting for something.
That was it probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Almost like if you picture they had like a Star Wars event, like all the cool stuff that they would have, to kind of match that world.
We're going down?
Right turn. Next place we're going to see here is Allen's Boots. If you were looking to get your own pair of custom-made cowboy boots, that's probably one of the best spots in town. I personally, I don't think I would actually even ever wear cowboy boots, but I still enjoy going in there and looking at all the styles. They have a pretty great selection and a pretty good price ranges too if you were looking to get a pair for yourself. Also, you see coming up here on the left, Tacovas. That's another Western wear store if you want to kind of complete your cowboy outfit. So coming up on the right here, you're going to see Home Slice Pizza. This was voted the best New York style pizza outside of New York. I moved here from Brooklyn, and I think that's our best pizza in town. So if you're craving any pizza, you need a quick slice. Can't go wrong with home slice there.
I was there today.
What'd you think?
It's awesome.
Good?
Yeah.
A hot potty there on the left, we just passed it. A pretty good burger spot as well. We're going to see the Continental Club here on our right. And then right after that sign, we're going to make a right turn here onto this smaller street. Just kind of watching pedestrians here as we cross through. With the Continental Club back there, that's one of the oldest historical clubs here in town. Maybe known for kind of like a blues music scene. They do get some variety in there as well. Worth checking out if you guys are looking for some live music in this area. And then as we kind of go through this intersection here, I want you guys to look at the Joe's Coffee. You'll see a mural there on the side of the building. It says, "I love you so much." That's kind of one of our most famous murals here in town. This is going to be kind of a close light here, but I think we're all going to make it. That story of that mural relates here to the Austin Motel. The owners of those two businesses, they were in a relationship together. It was kind of on the rocks, so they weren't sure if it was going to make it. So the owners of Joe's decided, I'm going to go out and put this little message up on the side of the building. Hopefully the owner of the Austin Motel here sees it and takes me back. It actually worked. They did win their love back. So they kind of just left that piece up full time because it just resonated with people in the city so much. Into this bike lane now. And just a heads up, we have someone on a scooter coming the wrong way here, so just keep your heads up for that. We're also going to see a spot over on the left. That says Ego's Bar. That's a pretty well-known, long-standing karaoke bar. If you want to sing any karaoke while you're in town, consider Ego's. Also, while we're here, I'll tell you about this area. You'll see all these crazy construction over there on the right. That's an area called Rainy Street. And that was one of the last residential neighborhoods in the downtown, like residential housing and homes. It started getting really popular. This is that famous Bat Bridge we talked about earlier on today.
Okay. This is a peak South by Southwest day, and people everywhere.
And we're gonna hop up onto this sidewalk here. Just be careful, pedestrians, as we hop up here. And then we're gonna park our bikes over here on this brick area, and we're gonna walk around the corner here, do another photo op.
All right, so we just come around the corner here. So this is a really interesting mural. It's our tallest mural in the city. It's called the Tetti Mural. It comes from, or that name comes from a star, very similar to our own sun. NASA studied for a bit, trying to see if there are any other planets like there, like Earth. Don't really think they found anything. But the guy that created this was like an amateur astrologist and mathematician, so he was kind of inspired by these sort of things. What he realized was that the light reflected off this Marriott building across the street, directly to this parking structure corner here. So when you kind of got the sun at just the right height, it would be focused into this triangular portion here, and you kind of get like stripes of light and dots of light over top of the mural here. It's a really cool effect. I haven't actually never seen a mural use sunlight in this way before. So this is a really cool spot and a really great photo op spot. So if you guys want to grab a photo here, I think it's one of the better ones.
This next part of town we're headed into is called the Warehouse District. It used to be a more industrial part of town. Now it's kind of known for some nightlife. If you have like a block or two up to our right, like 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you start to have like some restaurants, some bars. This area is kind of more known for some shopping. Not quite as high end as what we saw in South Congress. More like boutiques and small brands. But still some pretty good shops. And some good food around here too, some good eating. One of my favorite shops, right here on the left with this white key, is called Politics. It's like a menswear store. They have a lot of like streetwear, shoes, caps, t-shirts, things like that. But usually some pretty good stuff in there. And then while we're here at this light, I'll tell you some things kind of across the street from us. So over on the left is our city hall. That's the only building in town that's meant to resemble a specific animal. So if you guys want to take a look at that building over on the left, I'm going to ask you for some guesses in a bit. And then over here on the right, you'll see a statue there of Willie Nelson. He's hanging outside of the Moody Theater. That's where the Austin City Limits TV show takes place. That's like a live music, performance-based TV show. Originally started at UT, but then it grew so big they had to move it over here to the Moody Theater. Willie helped them produce that first episode here and appeared on the show 13 times. So they did erect that statue there in his honor. A little fun fact about the statue, it was erected on 420 at 420. That's a little ode to Willie there. If you guys, my favorite thing they have there. Really great queso.
Cool bridge.
That famous movie scene was shot though, that I told you about way earlier on. That movie is called Idiocracy. Have you ever heard of that one or seen that one before?
I just heard about it the other day, actually.
Well, if you haven't heard of it before, it was created by a pretty famous, I call him like an honorary Texan, but that's Mike Judge. You guys heard of him before?
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of him, he's done stuff like Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill, those sort of things. And I call him an honorary Texan. He's actually from Brazil, but he moved to Texas, and then he started kind of making a lot of his creative work set in Texas. So he's pretty inspired by Texas in general. But that movie, Idiocracy, that came out in like the mid-2000s, starred Luke Wilson. Kind of a silly comedy. I would say probably a lot of people haven't seen it. The synopsis goes, the main character, he's frozen in a cryogenic sleep for 500 years. During that time, the world regresses so much that when he wakes up, he's the smartest man alive. Chaos kind of just ensues from there. But there is a scene where he breaks out of prison, runs past these smokestacks here. So if you guys are ever watching that, you have to look out for it. I watched it about maybe 2 years ago. And I felt it was still kind of culturally relevant. They get some future predictions, still accurate today. They predicted the popularity of Crocs in that movie. They predicted the celebrity president in that movie. So there's just a few things that still make it kind of relevant even today. If you've ever seen Office Space as well, there are some scenes shot by the convention center here as well, that appear in that movie. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this spot here. We're going to keep it rolling. Wait, before we leave though, is anyone a King of the Hill fan?
Yes.
Okay, then I have a little fun fact for you as well. So King of the Hill is set in a town called Arlen, Texas, which is a combination of Arlington and Austin. So next time you're watching it, you have to look out for maybe some Austin Easter eggs in there. Like Hank Hill, he lives on Rainy Street, which is that street I was telling you about with all the new construction.
I've never even thought about that.
His dog's name is Lady Bird, like Lady Bird Lake or Lady Bird Johnson there. I'm not a big enough fan to give you guys any more. Those are the only ones I know.
Party bus.
We're pretty much back at the shop here, so you guys can just leave the bikes out here in front. Just remember to grab those personal belongings off the bikes.